Hi everyone, my name is Federico Tartarini, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can create this article like the one that you can see here on the screen in less than 5 minutes using the Elsevier template. So we're going to create exactly the same thing, and basically the only thing that you will need to do is to replace the text and just start typing your text inside, and then you're done. There is nothing else that you need to do. No configuration, nothing. I will show you an example of how to add figures, how to add tables, and so forth. Okay, even how to add the references at the end. So everything. We are going to cover everything. In the first 5 minutes, I will show you how to get started quickly. But then just look down in the video. In YouTube, you should be able to jump between sections. So I will show you how to get started, and then I will go a little bit more in detail. So for those of you who want to just have a quick template and get started in 5 minutes, just look at the first part of the video. For those of you which want to learn more, just please have a look at all the video in which I'm going to go in detail to all the different parts. Okay. The first thing that we need to do in order to get started with the Elsevier template is to go on to my GitHub repository. Okay, so I will put the link in the description here. So basically it's github.com, my name followed by my surname, /reproducible research. But basically, I just would like to ask you to download the code from this GitHub repository. You have basically two options. I like to use the second option, but for most of you, if you're not familiar with Git, the first option is fine. So the first option is to download the code as a zip file here, super simple. The second option is to clone the repository on your local computer, create a new GitHub repository in which you're going to push, and then eventually sync GitHub with Overleaf. I will not explain you how to do that because I've already done that in another video. I've already shown how to connect GitHub with Overleaf. Therefore, I'm not going to explain that. Again, another thing that I didn't mention before, sorry for that, you don't have to use Overleaf. I'm going to use Overleaf just for simplicity because I think it's a very nice tool to get you started, especially if you're not, if you're just a beginner with LaTeX. But if you want, you can also compile all the files on your local computer, and I will show you that towards the end of the video how you can do that. So if you want to see that, just jump, look at the section below in the video and the cursor, and you should be able to find just that. Okay, so if you look at this the repository, you can just have a little bit, you can just read a bit about what I've done. There is a bit of a table content which is explaining you all the files, how they are structured in this repository. And basically we have this manuscript here, this manuscript directory, which inside will contain all the files to generate the paper. And I will have also an additional thing that I will show you later. So if you stick around, I will also how to show you how to generate a presentation. Is all included in this repository. Okay. You might ask what are these two other folders. Well, you can read down here in the README, but they are basically a tool. Like I've created this repository in order for you to give a template, so how you can structure your research. You can put your code inside the code directory, your data inside here, and the manuscript here. However, the scope of this video is only related to looking at the manuscript. Again. And finally, another thing that I want to show you, I know I'm showing you a lot of things, but like here you have in master, you can check the other branch by just clicking here clean. Okay, it's going to be practically the same, but it's just a cleaner version of the code that you can find in master. And I will explain what it is. As you can see, the data folder is no longer here. So this is going to be the same thing, but you don't have then to delete all the text, the placeholder text, but you can just start typing and all the text in your article, okay? But in this video, we'll just cover the master. Again, is the same process for both of the two branches. Okay, so let's go to master. Let's click on code, download zip, okay? So you will see how simple it is. I've downloaded the file here in the downloads. So here is the file that I've just downloaded. Let's open Overleaf. Okay, click on new project, upload the project, drag the zip file that we just have downloaded, let it compile, and you're done. As I told you, it's going to take you only 30 seconds, not more. Okay? So now that you have the structure, the template ready, let's have a look at how I've organized the file inside this project. And let's see which file we can actually cancel first. So they're not going to distract us. So as I mentioned before, we can delete the code here. So we are going to delete this folder here, and we are going to delete data. Okay? So we are going to have our overarching directory, which is called manuscript. Inside contains the source files. And the reason why you might think that this structure is a little bit more complex, but in fact is a good practice to structure the paper like this. So to keep all the files in a nice and easy structure, not to have a lot of files that then you don't know where they are. Okay? So we're going to have our manuscript, which contains some auxiliary files and output files and the presentation output file, which are needed for LaTeX to work. Then we have our source file, which is the source directory in which we are actually going to work. Okay. Inside here, we have some figures, which are the figures that I'm actually showing here. And we have the tables. This is the table. And again, I've created another video. Just please go on my YouTube account and have a look how you can export pandas data frame to table. I think is extremely useful, that video, especially if you're a researcher and if you're using Python. And then we have the sections. Okay, these are the different sections which we are going to edit in order to write our manuscript. Okay. So, but what is the main overarching file? The main overarching file is always the file that is called main.txt, and this is the file that we have opened up here. Okay, so this is the file that you can see here. I have added also a couple of other files which are very important. One is my acronyms, and again, I've created another video on YouTube. Go and check out my video on glossaries and acronyms. They're extremely powerful and let you specify like an abbreviation and how you want these to look and to render into your paper, like PMV. I just want to show you a quick example here. So we want that the first time it appears as predicted mean vote, and then we want to have it in bracket, the abbreviation, but then all the following time we want that it just shows the abbreviation. Again, check out my other video. One other important file is my bib file. This file contains all our references, and again, I have another video. I'm sorry if I'm referencing to a lot of videos. I will try to put maybe a card here at the top in the video. So maybe just have a look here in the top right section of the screen. I will probably put a link to that video again as well. And I'm going to show you in that video how to create this bib text entry from Mendeley. Super simple. Okay. Then we have my preambles. You will not have to change this unless you want to change the bibliography style. Okay, so if you don't want to have this bibliography file, which is this like number and the reference the number here, as you can see here. So if you don't want to have this style, you can change it here. You can have Elsevier article number, or you can have author here. So let's just I haven't tested these things, so let me just see if it works. I just want to see. If it doesn't work, maybe I will just put a link in the description how to change it. And let me actually recompile. No, is not working at the moment. So I will, sorry for that. I will just put a link in the description how to explain how to change the bibliography style. Okay. yeah, so sorry for that. There is probably like I will just want to check the last time. No, I will put a link in the description and will explain how to do that. Okay, so let me just keep it in the original way. Otherwise, you can just do a quick Google search how to change the style in the Elsevier article. And so now we're back with our citation here, and we have the reference here at the bottom. And finally, a thing that I will show you later is how to create a presentation as well. Okay, but let's go back to the main text. So the main text contain and start the document. So if you are a bit familiar with LaTeX, you might be familiar with this begin document command, which contains all our sections inside. Okay. So this is how the paper is going to look at the end when it's actually going to be published. But if you want to change it to the format of the review, you can just uncomment this line here. So I've used a shortcut Ctrl// to uncomment this line. And then I press Ctrl Enter. I'm going to recompile the file or just click here at the top. You will be able to recompile the file and change the format. So now we have it in the review style. Okay, so as you can see, the line spacing is wider because the review style. However, you can also change it to the final one, in which the line spacing is going to be a little bit shorter, and that's the main difference. But again, it's going to be in one column. If you want to see how your paper is going to look like at the end, you just have to put it in the two columns. Okay, but most likely you're going to look at the review version at the moment, just because you're going to probably first send it for review and then have it published. I will keep it in the two columns option, just because it's easier just to see all what is going on here. Is a little bit more compact. So let's just dig into a little bit what I have here. So I have the different sections. The Elsevier guide, I left it over there just for you if you want to read it. Just have a look at it. You don't have to install it. You don't really need to understand how to use it, because everything is already there. Okay, for you. So I'm actually going to deactivate it by just commenting this line in the main text file. I recompile it, and then eventually the Elsevier class section is going to go away. Okay, let's look at the title abstract section. So this is probably the most complicated one, because as you can see here, there are a lot of comments. Don't worry too much about it. It's just the default one from Elsevier, but there are a lot of things that you actually don't need it. So for instance, you just want to keep, so let's start from the top. So we are going to change the title to my paper. We don't need this note text and this reference here at the bottom. So I'm going to delete those. I just left it over there if you want to play a bit around. The author, I'm going to change it to my name. Okay. And the address, yeah, it's okay. We want to have the address. And actually, let's say that we don't want to have the address, because we are going to put the affiliation here at the bottom. And so we just have the author. And actually, if we want to have the author with the affiliation, we can just specify it here. Okay, so the author is going to be Federico, and the main address, we can specify a main address and a secondary address. So let's say that I have just one address. I just want to show you how to play a bit with it. Otherwise, if you have two addresses, you can just keep it. I don't have a website, and let's say that there is a second author. The second author is going to be you. So I'm just going to call it you, and then I'm going to define who is the corresponding author. Okay, so let's just recompile it and see that everything is coming up as we want. So I have my paper. The first author is Federico, the second author is you, and then for the first author we have the main address, and I need to leave the secondary address because the secondary address is actually the address of the second author and is actually the affiliation. Here you can put the affiliation if you prefer. And then we can start the abstract. Okay, so let's type this is my abstract. And finally, we can have the keywords. Okay, so the keywords have to be separated by this sep. Okay, the first one is thermal comfort, and the second keyword is LaTeX, and that's it. We are going to cancel the other keywords. Okay, so here we should only see two, and let's press Ctrl Enter. We have now the two keywords, thermal comfort and LaTeX. We don't want to have these because I mean we don't know exactly when it's going to be published. Elsevier is going to add that for us. Okay, so you can keep it and just keep a default values, or you can just remove it. Okay, so now is much cleaner. Of course, you will have to write your abstract. Same goes with the other sections. So you can go into the introduction, as I just showed you before. This is about the acronyms, and this is to add citations. Okay, so you can add your citation, and I referenced my previous video. You just have to add them here in the main bib file. Okay, if you want to change the citation, just delete this one, and then you should be prompted with the key. And again, if you don't know how citation work, I would suggest you to look at my video about citation. But basically, these are the unique keys that there are here in my bib file. So there is Dirac, Feynman, and Choi. So let's say we want to cite this author here. So we go here, and then we type his name. Overleaf is going to help us because it's showing us the unique keys that are over there, and now the citation should change because from one, which was Choi, is going to be another author. Okay, so now it's compiling, and you see that yes, the changes are updated automatically. Then we have the methodology. Again, that is just a placeholder. So of course here is just the text in Latin. You will have to change it with my methodology, and I'm not just going to change much more than that. And of course you can add subsections. Again, goes a little bit beyond of the scope of this video because this video is just to show you how to get started with the Elsevier template, but this is just a normal subsection. Then you have the results, and here I'm showing you how to add math equation, how to add figures, and how to add tables. Again, if you want to learn more how to export tables from Python data frame into directly LaTeX, I will suggest you just to look at my video. Okay. Finally, the last thing that we want to add into the main text file, we want to add a new section. Okay. So to add a new section, we go here in sections, new file, and we call it conclusions. Okay. We have a new file. We go in conclusions, and we just have to do section, and we call it conclusions. Okay. So these are my conclusions. Of course, I will compile it now just to show you that it's not going to work. You just have the results, but you don't have the conclusions. Why? Because we haven't imported it in the main text file. So we just go here. We're going to do input. And then where is the file location? Is located in sections. Okay. And then is located in conclusions. Okay. We compile the file again, and now the conclusion will actually appear here just before the references. Okay. One final tip that I want to show you is how to create a presentation. So now let's say that you have written all your article, you want to use the same images and the same table, for instance, and create a presentation. Okay, and you want to keep it all in one repository. Well, that's super simple. You just click here on presentation, and you just create a presentation with Beamer. I will just show you how to I've already created another video and another tutorial on how to get started with Beamer. So this is not going to be in detail how to get started with the presentation in Beamer, but I just want to show you that if you click here at the top menu and you change from the main document, from main text to presentation, and then you click on recompile. We are going to compile the presentation that is defined here in this presentation text file. Okay, so in one file, in one repository, you have already a template to get started with the presentation and how to get started with the Elsevier template. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please consider liking the video. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. And also please consider subscribing to my channel if you like this type of content. And thank you very much for listening.